Hello ladies, I have an extra special video for you today, mostly because my hair looks like this. I know. I want to talk a little bit about immunity. Those of us with children, especially if they're in daycare, immunity is such a huge topic because everybody gets sick every 5.5 seconds and it's amazing. We all love it. You can hear right now that I'm still currently sick, which is, just beautiful. I love it so much, right? But here's how we can pump it up. The thing that has been big for me is that my children from daycare have been sick all the time. This is the first time that I've got the head cold. Because I do try and take care of my body as much as possible and do these things that I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about today. So the first one is, and I've talked to you about vitamin D so many times, but what happens is vitamin D actually interacts with every single cell that's in your body. And when your levels of vitamin D are adequate enough, it's basically your body's first line of defense, right? It promotes certain agents within your cells that are actually going to kill off germs and viruses. So it's that first line of defense, and that's why it's so key to have adequate levels of vitamin D. What it also does is make sure that your cells are replicating properly. So that's a really big deal when it comes to cancer prevention, right? So adequate levels of vitamin D are an amazing thing to have. You can get this checked with your doctor if you're unsure of where your vitamin D levels are currently at. You can do this with your children as well. For adults, if you're, just trying to keep your levels up, 5,000 IUs per day is good. Whereas for children, for kids, it's down at 2,000 for kids. That's generally pretty good to make sure that it's a safe start to get your levels up properly. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was taking a probiotic. Often when we're sick, if we're taking antibiotics or something, people will complain of stomach problems and stomach pain, right? What it does is it gives you a stronger immune system in general, and in general better health if you take it every day, right? What they do is they directly produce production of T cells and also other enzymes that are going to elevate your immunity. But the most important thing is that they help with your digestion and your absorption, right? So when you're sick, you want all of the food that you're taking in, all of the good stuff that's in it, you want to be able to actually absorb it so that it can help you out and help you to heal faster, recover quicker, right? This is something that taking a probiotic on the daily will help you to do, right? So that certainly makes you feel better. Kids can take them too. Don't forget about that. They will also help with your children. The third thing that I wanted to talk about was fruits and vegetables and making sure you're getting sort of at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. And make sure you vary the sources, right? So not just broccoli every single morning or whatever it is. Try and vary that up a little bit so you get a plethora of different vitamins coming in. One of the really great things is that they provide fiber, right? So fiber and vitamins, they supply pretty much every ounce of vitamin C that's going to come into your body. We all know how good that is. And certainly antioxidants, which are very, very powerful at fighting off different things within the body. If you can get more than 5 servings a day, that is great. That is your sort of low bar that you want to hit, but try and get more than that. If you're finding that that's a really difficult problem for you and you can't do that, please do supplement with a greens powder or a reds powder. That's a really great way to get in all of that stuff, add it to your protein shake or whatever else that it is, so that you can actually keep your immune system positive and cranking through this period of time when you're sick, okay? Other than that, let's think back to the very beginning. We were talking about how much water we need. Making sure we get that water is really, really a significant way to help out with your immune system. Hydration of at least 3 liters of water per day is really, really great. And when we're talking about this, if you do have children, encourage them to do that too. I noticed that I dropped the ball a little bit a couple of weeks ago with my baby. He woke up one morning and his lips were all chapped, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been forgetting, through the snot and the coughs and everything else, to make sure, even though he might not want it all the time, to keep that hydration up and how important that is. So certainly do that. Make sure you try and get filtered water. Don't use plastic water bottles. That is not something that is going to help you. If you are having trouble just drinking water, please do not turn to pop or other sugary juices or drinks or anything like that. Sugar is actually generally feeds virus and disease, so please stay away from that. If you're finding that you are incredibly thirsty and you have a lot of dry mouth, consider adding electrolytes. You can get them in little packages. You can add them to your water, and you don't have to have sugary Gatorade or anything like that. Next, let's talk about sleep. So if you get enough sleep, it is going to generally boost your immune system to begin with, so you don't have to worry about catching as many colds and little viruses and illnesses that might come through. It's definitely a key to a robust immune system, but also take into consideration if you have children that this is the same for them. So a little bit of extra sleep is certainly going to help them out with that. One of the best reasons that we want to make sure that we're getting adequate sleep is because it allows for greater production of white blood cells, which helps prevent disease and any sickness at all. So because everywhere we go, germs are absolutely everywhere, getting your sleep and giving your body that extra just boost is really, really good. So make sure that you're getting your extra sleep. Okay, so the next one that I wanted to talk about is zinc, and I haven't talked about zinc a lot throughout this program, but I want to make sure that I touch on this today, because if you have even a small deficiency in zinc, that can make your T cells just go and it really plummet down, right? Because T cells are what elevates the body's immune system, it's really important that we don't give them the opportunity to plummet in that way. So it's certainly important, especially if I don't think there's very many vegetarians in the program currently as I'm filming this. But if you are a vegetarian, you have a tendency to not eat stuff that provides you your zinc sources, because it traditionally comes from seafood and meat. One of my go-tos when I do feel sore throat or a cold coming on is taking the zinc lozenges. It has been shown to reduce the severity and also the length of illnesses. So that might be one of the key reasons why I don't get as many of the upper respiratory stuff that's happening to my kids. I don't catch it as much because I am a big believer in zinc lozenges, and they do help a lot. So zinc will certainly help elevate your immune function and make you less susceptible to catching certain illnesses and flu. Okay, so let's move into the next one, which is eating organic and avoiding processed foods. So, I mean, we try to do this all the time anyways, but especially when you're getting sick, it's kind of key. Because like me, and I've told you my story many times about how I feel like eating like crap when I'm sick and how it just spirals down and makes me feel way worse. There's reasons behind that, right? So we're going to try and eat as clean as possible, because if you don't eat organic, we have a tendency to be actually consuming these pesticides and antibiotics and hormones, depending on where you are in the world and what the laws are in your countries about all of these different things. So when you eat that, it actually makes you more susceptible to illness, which is why we want to try and keep it as organic as possible, because these things actually end up elevating the toxins in your body, right? So your toxic load, making it a lot more difficult for your body to detoxify just the pollutants and the crap that you're putting into your body. So it has to work harder in order to get rid of this. And in so doing, it ends up, limiting your immune response because of it. So if possible, whenever you can, please do try to eat organic or as clean as possible. Also, in addition, anything that's processed, every time you process something, it brings down the initial original nutrition content of the food. So there's no point in eating a lot of food that isn't going to serve you, not only to make you healthier, but also with your fitness goals at the end of the day, right? Something I also have to learn and have to work on when I'm sick, because I'm such a big baby. I've talked about being smart about your training when you're sick. If you are overloaded, overstressed, overtired, starting to get sick, adding more stress of a workout can often be quite detrimental, right? So this is on you to understand and decide and listen to your body. If you're getting to a point where you're saying, do I think this is my body's way of telling me I need to slow down? The answer is yes. If you think, if I just do a workout and sweat it out, I'm going to feel way better, then that's what you got to do, okay? But it's really about listening to your body in this situation and making sure you do what's best for your body. And that can even be in the middle of a workout. You realize, hey, I made the wrong decision. Just stop and slow down, because something too intense when you're not feeling well has been shown to lower your immune system, compromise your immune system, and you could get more sick. Next one is about stress in general, trying to lower that when you're getting sick, and also other agents that you might be using, like taking too much caffeine is difficult when you're sick and ends up blunting the immune system as well, because it also has a lot to do with your adrenals. So if your adrenals are already tired out and you're pummeling them with caffeine to get them up again, you're just going to completely exhaust that process, and that can equal some pretty bad stuff. If you've ever gone through extreme adrenal fatigue, which I have, it doesn't feel good, and it affects so many of your body systems that it's just not worth it. So if you're feeling sick and you're trying to combat that fatigue with caffeine, maybe just take a nap instead. It's probably a better idea for you. The last one is about glutamine. I touched on glutamine during our Supplement Savvy a couple of weeks ago, but it is an amino acid that is actually fuel for your cells, right? So it is really important when it comes to wound healing, when it comes to immune function and immunity, anything from stress, your exercise, any nutrient deficiencies that you might have. It depletes your stores, your natural stores of glutamine, and that can really do a number on your immune system. So that and stress also has the ability to diminish your natural glutamine levels too. So anytime that you get sick, it's just going to get used up. That glutamine, that healing agent that you want to have in your body, is going to get used up just because it gets used. It gets needed. So replenishing with a supplement in both adults and for your kids, if you have them, is a pretty cool idea in order to speed your recovery. If you think that you are getting sick, sometimes not overdosing, but taking a larger amount of glutamine might be helpful for you to sort of suppress that sickness right off the bat. And certainly your recovery will be accelerated because you've done that. So glutamine, you can actually get them through food. You don't necessarily have to supplement, but think about eating, again, either organic or grass-fed meats. So you'd look at grass-fed meats, spinach, raw parsley, cabbage. These things are all really great when it comes to glutamine. And please remember to go organic whenever possible. So those are sort of 10 ideas about what you can do in order to help yourself out when you feel like you're getting sick. I will write a quick list for you as well below this video so that you remember all of those things and have a quick go-to. Okay? I hope you found that helpful.